Hey, I-25, great. Great you're here. And it's very good that you're watching this class because today we're going to see something about conditionals. You know, let's see what we've got in the conditional. Let's see, there are different kinds of conditionals, but conditionals are structures that have two parts. The first part is a real clause, something that happens, and the second part is the conditional clause, which is a condition, something that will make it the real clause to happen or not. For example, I can take you to the movies if you buy the popcorn. You see, that's the condition. If you don't buy the popcorn, I can't take you to the movies. You see, that's the condition. So the conditional structures always come with two parts, right? If you understand that, of course, we can talk about the three main kinds of conditionals there are, which is the first conditional, the second conditional, and the third conditional. No, it's not a joke. This is really their names. First, second, and third. And also works in Spanish. Primer, segundo, tercero. Those are the names of the conditionals. Yeah. I didn't put those names. And the first conditional is a deal. It's something that is, you know, a deal between two parts. And it's very simple. I understand if you explain it. Now, if I don't explain, you don't understand. That's very simple, right? It's something that it's a deal. It's something that two persons have arranged, or two parts have arranged, and we're talking about something real, right? A real deal, a real agreement. Now, a second conditional is not real. It's hypothetical. It's something that you say because you think that might happen. There's a possibility. Like, I would understand if you explained it to me. But this is not real. This is a hypothesis because I am not going to explain. Yeah, it's hypothetical. Like, I would buy a house if I won the lottery, right? That's a hypothesis. That's not real. That's the difference with the second conditional. And what you can see is that in the second conditional you use would or you use could, right? And in the second structure you use the past tense of the verb. In the third conditional, well, it's a regret. I would have understood, which means yo habría entendido, if you had explained it to me. Si tú me hubieras explicado. It's a regret because you didn't explain, so I didn't understand anything now. But I would have understood. Reality would be different if you had done this, right? So that's the third. Yo habría entendido si me hubieras explicado. Those are the three conditionals. I understand if you explain it to me. Yo entiendo si me explicas. I would understand if you explained it to me. Yo entendería si me explicaras. And I would have understood if you had explained it to me. Yo habría entendido si me hubieras explicado. Those are the three conditionals, the basic ones. Let's go here. You can also organize them differently. You can start with the if, with the conditional connector, if you want. You mean you can put them in a different order and they work the same. If you explain it to me, I understand. As you can see, you have if, but also you have a comma in the middle. That's important. If you explained it to me, I would understand. But you see there's a comma in the middle. Had you explained it to me, comma, I would have understood. Now that changes a little because what happens there is you don't use the connector if. What you do is you change the two first words. You had, and you say had you explained it to me. That's a way to do this with the third conditional. And remember again, the first conditional, if you explained it to me, I understand. Si tú me explicas, yo entiendo. Right? That's the first. The second conditional, if you explained it to me, I would understand. Si me explicaras, yo entendería. Right? Got it? See the difference? And the third conditional, si me hubieras explicado, or sometimes we say de haberme explicado, yo habría entendido. I would have understood. That's the difference between those conditionals. There's another conditional, like a weird conditional, that's called the zero conditional, which is a fact. And I tell you something. It's the zero conditional, but for me, this is the first conditional, but with another name. Water boils if you heat it over 100 degrees. But yeah, the zero conditional is made to express facts, something that happens, like a process, like a consequence of something. Well, that's what the grammar. The first conditional, a deal, you have to express facts that are predictable or expected because they are real. It's a deal. The second conditional, it's a hypothesis. It's an unreal conditional situation that is unlikely, improbable, unlikely to happen. I told you, I would understand if you explained it to me. Yo entendería si me explicaras. Nobody's going to explain. Yeah. Now there's a little note. I hope you understand this. For the second conditional, where replaces was. You say, if I were a rich man. And you say, wow, that's wrong, because I goes with was. Not in the second conditional. In the second conditional, there's this little rule that you say, if I were a rich man, or if he were a rich man, if they were a rich man. You see, it's were for everybody. And if you need the Spanish, it's fuera o estuviera. Si yo fuera rico. Si yo estuviera en otro país. If I were in another country. Fuera or estuviera. So every time you're trying to say fuera or estuviera, use were. Don't worry about the person. The third conditional, you use it to express facts that might have happened with the right conditions, but the conditions were not good, so they didn't happen. That's why I say it's a regret, it's a remorse, right? I would have understood if you had explained it to me. So I didn't understand. I never understood, but because you didn't explain. So now it's too late. We cannot change things now. Remember the inversion. Had you explained it to me, I would have understood. Yeah, got it? You got it. There's a mixed conditional, which is a mixture between second and third. Like he wouldn't be in this situation if you had done your job correctly. Él no estaría si tú hubieras hecho tu trabajo. Yeah, as you can see. Or I could be in Acapulco if I hadn't spent my money. Yo podría estar si no hubiera gastado. Yeah, you see. This is a mixed conditional. Okay, these are some conditional connectors, because sometimes you think that if is the only conditional connector. Well, no. You have other conditional connectors, which is whether, bien sea, unless, a menos que, provided or providing. It's also very similar, a menos que, as long as, mientras, right? Or in case, en caso de, right? Those are conditional connectors. Let's see this. using wish. Wish can also talk about some expressions that are similar to conditions. Check it out. Wish with the simple past. I wish I were rich. Yo desearía ser rico. I wish I were. Or wish with the past perfect. I wish I had learned English when I was younger. Yo desearía haber aprendido. Yeah. Or wish and would. I wish you would stop making that noise. Yo desearía que pararas. Those are expressions that you can use with wish and are similar to these conditional things. Okay, so you have a test. So go answer your test, and I'll see you later for the class.